Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Traptrix Yugioh deck profile for Genesys format, October 2025. Wanted to update another fun deck of mine, being the Traptrix deck. There are a few cards in this deck that do equal out for the point system. We're not at max number of points that can be used in the deck, but for what available for the Traptrix deck, the only card from Traptrix that are on the Genesys list are Traptrix Rafflesia at 10 points, and then some of the additional traps that we run in the deck as well, adding up to, I believe, around 87 points total for the deck, give or take, but still hitting that number needed to maintain the 100 point for Genesys format. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So the big thing, obviously, with the Traptrix deck is we no longer can use Traptrix Sarah. We're completely dedicated to the Xyz plays in the Traptrix deck. No more Link monsters to use, so fully focused on Xyz monsters, but we'd still run the original Traptrix monsters. So we're running 3 copies of Traptrix Myrmilio. When it's normal summon, you can add 1 whole normal trap from your deck to your hand, and if it's special summon, you can target a spell or trap your opponent controls and destroy it. They are not once per turns either, so the multiple times you can use Myrmilio, the better for this setup. 2 copies of Traptrix Mantis. When it's normal summon, you can add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. Unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps, and once per turn, you can target 1 set spell or trap you control, return that target to the hand, then you can set 1 from your hand. So if you want to swap in and out some of the different traps you may have set up, because you will have some pretty big back row set up with this deck as well, Mantis can help to do so. 2 copies of Traptrix Arachnokampa. Unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. The first time each set card in your spell and trap card zone will be destroyed by card effect each turn. It is not. And during the main phase, if you control a Traptrix monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. You cannot special summon from the extra for the rest of this turn, except for insect or plant monsters, but really doesn't limit us, since the majority of what we'll be summoning are our Traptrix monsters. And then the 2 copies of Traptrix Pudica, unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. You can only use each of the following effects of Pudica once per turn. When it's normal summon, you can add 1 Traptrix Garden from your deck to your hand. If this card's special summon, you can target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and banish it. Also, during the next standby phase, your opponent can special summon 1 of their banished monsters, but being able to grab our spell Traptrix Garden is a big help for the additional normal summon of our Traptrix monsters, and then just getting rid of pesky monsters that our opponent may have on the field, also to then give them the option to special summon the following turn, and then in turn, instead of returning it to the field, special summoning it means we can use our whole traps against that monster as well. And then the last of the Traptrix monsters being 1 Traptrix Dionea. It's not affected by the effects of whole normal traps. When this card's normal summon, you can target a Traptrix monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and face-up defense. And when this card's special summon, you can target a whole normal trap in your graveyard and set that target, but banish it during the end phase of your next turn. Once again, more reset up for the whole traps that we'll then use against our opponent. And then just being able to grab another Traptrix monster to then be able to go into the rank 4 Xyz play using those cards. And then the last of the main deck monsters are Hand Trap Spot, taken up by Effect Failure, just because of the easy points that it is worth in the deck. I believe 7 points each for this monster as well. For the spells, the only spells we run are the 1 Traptrix Garden and the 1 Trap Tantalizing Tune. Being able to discard an insect or plant monster or 1 normal trap to draw 2 cards with Trap Tantalizing Tune. The additional normal summon power of Traptrix Garden also helps with the resources of getting monsters on the field to use for our extra deck plays. And the first time each insect or plant monster you control will be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. You can banish a monster you control to special summon a Traptrix monster from your hand or graveyard. So more and more resources to then use thanks to our field spell. For the traps, 2 copies of Traptrix Holotea. You can activate this card at the turn was set by discarding 1 normal trap, special summon it in defense as a normal monster, plant, earth, level 4. And this card's not treated as a trap, and you can banish it from your graveyard to target a Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So not only do we have the special summon resource to then grab back Traptrix monsters, we also have just another card that can be activated at the turn by discarding a normal trap. Some of the whole traps we run in the deck include the 2 copies of Gravedigger's Trap Hole. When your opponent activates a card or effect in their hand or graveyard, you can, with this card, or when your opponent's monster's banish effect is activated, you can negate its effects and inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. The Floodgate Trap Hole to flip your opponent's monster face down. The 2 copies of Terrifying Trap Hole, Nightmare, and the 1 Bottomless Trap Hole for the variety of different hole traps we can run, being searched out very easily with Myrmilio as well to then use. The 2 copies of Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. Having no traps in the graveyard means we can set and activate Shade Brigadine in the same turn, giving us a level 4 monster to summon out, and then having some of the generic uses for our different Traptrix monsters to then be able to summon out. More of the generic traps include 3 copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device, this and Torrential Tribute are worth 0 points on the list, so very useful for both of these spots to have traps that can either just disrupt our opponent's plays and, return their monsters to the extra deck, and then our own monsters being unaffected by traps for the extra deck Traptrix monsters. The 3 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison for another playset of traps to run just in tandem for our opponent's cards, and then more of the traps in the deck to finish off the main deck as well that are worth points, are infinite impermanence, and evenly matched, but still adding up to be below the current point system numbers that they're worth to be underneath 100 points in total for the deck, so very useful there as well. With our extra deck, we're running 1 copy of Rafflesia. Rafflesia is worth 10 points, so we have to be wary how many we run in the deck, but still useful for being able to copy the effects of whole traps as well, and being able to detach and exceed material for that send as well. And then that card's trap effect becomes this card effect when activated as well. And then the 2 copies of Traptrix Pinguicula. Well, this card's material, it's unaffected by trap effects and the activated effects of other monsters of the same type as this card's material. Going each of the following effects of Pinguicula once per turn. You can detach material from this card to add a Traptrix monster from your deck to your hand. If a monster owned by your opponent is sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, except during the damage step, you can attach one of those monsters to this card, giving you more and more materials to then use and protect Pinguicula. And the 1 Traptrix Olimaris, needing 2 or 4 level 4 monsters, and once again having the unaffected effect, and being able to detach 2 from this card to special summon an insect or plant monster from your graveyard, giving us back more of those special summon Traptrix cards to then reuse their effects. And the generics that we run being the 1 Tornado Dragon, the 1 Dagasto Morale, the 1 Steel Swarm Roach, 1 Dark Rebellion, along with the 1 Diamond Dyer, the 1 number 70, along with the 1 number 80, the 1 copy of Time Thief Redoer, the 1 Exciton Knight, and the 1 Tornado Dragon, and the 1 Castel. The Morale just being the 1 additional point to use with the extra deck, having 11 points in total, along with the Traptrix Rafflesia. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck as well, as mentioned before, setup is a big part of what you use in this deck. So depending on the Traptrix cards you have, if you have Arana Campa and Vermilion on your hand, not only do you have the normal summon search to then be able to add the whole trap of choice, depending on what you want to use against your opponent. If you know they're going to have more Graveyard Disruption, grab Gravedigger's Trap Hole, if not Floodgate to interrupt their monster summon. Then your additional Arana Campa in your hand, being able to special summon this card out as well for that play. Limited for your extra deck summons there, but you can still get out your Traptrix monster of choice while having the additional trap in your hand. And with the lower monster count, having a good chance to have another wide variety of traps to be able to set up against your opponent also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy. I'm having fun enjoying updating these Genesys decks. I know they may change very quickly depending on the adjustments for points in this game, but they're very easy changes that can be adjusted with some of the cards we run in the deck also. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.